Guys, I'm back with another full face makeup tutorial and we're starting again, makeup free. Only this time my hair is a little bit shorter and a lot blonder. So, you know, that's different. There's so much dry shampoo in my hair, I'm surprised you can even tell what color my hair is. That's my attempt at preserving the curl that they put in my hair like 3 days ago. I'm gonna have to wash it though tonight. You know, there's only so much that dry shampoo can do. Hello everyone, I'm here again with another full face kind of tutorial. I wanted to do like an everyday dewy makeup thing and I wanted to use all drugstore products today. And as I was setting out all my makeup, I noticed that there were a couple of products here that are new, I've never tried before. I wanted to kind of sit down and talk about them as I was kind of going through them. And then I was like, well, I might as well just find 5 of them and I'll make it a 5 first impressions. But I had so much fun in Thursday's video kind of starting from scratch and like playing with makeup and just kind of doing my makeup on the fly with you guys that I wanted to sit down and kind of do another one. So I will talk about the products that I've obviously used before, and I will let you guys know which of the products I'm testing out for the first time and what I think of them. But I thought this would be a fun video to do. If you guys like these 5 first impression, kind of talk through chatty tutorial type videos, give this video a thumbs up so I know, and if you have any requests for future videos, leave them in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. And without further ado, let's get into this. The first thing we're gonna do, zoom y'all in. Hold on there. Oh, there we go. So the only thing I've done this morning is brush my teeth and wash my face, and I've also made coffee because what else is new? Is it really a RachhLoves video if I'm not holding a coffee mug? So we're gonna go in with the foundation, and actually no, I haven't moisturized my face yet. Should probably go do that. I'm using the L'Oreal Paris Hydra Genius Liquid Care Daily Moisturizer. This is for normal/dry skin. This is sent as a press sample a couple of weeks ago, but I've been using it a lot lately because I find it's not only a really good moisturizer, but I've been using it kind of like a primer as well because it has like this nice gel-like texture to it, and it's also water-based. Or at least that's what the press material says. Is that weird that I like to read all the press stuff? I like to, you know what I'm putting on my face. So this stuff has hyaluronic acid in it, it has aloe water in it, so it hydrates the skin, but it's also super light. So, you know, my skin isn't gonna look like bacon grease. Oh my gosh, you know that feeling after you put moisturizer on and your skin immediately is like, oh my gosh, that's so much better. Yeah, I didn't realize how tight my skin was. that is muchos better. I'm gonna let that dry for a hot minute, and I'm just gonna go into my brows, and I am using the Maybelline Brow Precise Micro Crayon, and this is in the shade, doesn't say. Well, that's super helpful. Thank you, Maybelline. Is this color lid? Is that helpful at all? I have used this product before. I feel I've even talked about it in a video, but I really like it. It's a very fine tip eyebrow pencil and one of the few ones from the drugstore that I actually really enjoy. And I think today I'm going to mix it with the lighter one as well, just kind of to mix it up and not make my brows look too dramatic. All right, so now that the brows are in place, we are gonna go in with a color correcting palette, and this is the Essence All I Need Concealer Palette. It has a green, a pink, and then 3 shades of concealer in there. And on the back it has beige to cover imperfections, pink to brighten under eyes, green neutralize redness, and yellow conceals dark under eye circles. Yellow? Which one is the, oh, I see, this one is supposed to be yellow. Got it. So I'm gonna try this under my eye. Oh, that's a lot more, not as creamy as I thought it was gonna be. A little bit more on the, I don't know, thick side. It's not as serum-y. So we'll see how this holds up with concealer on top of it. Are my under eye circles gone yet? No. And then I'm gonna use a little bit of the green. Whoa, that is, all right, that's green. Let's dial that back a bit. Use a little bit of that around the nose area and anywhere where I have some redness. All right, now I'm gonna go in with my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glows, the Radiant Finish one. You guys know how much I love this one. It's a really, really good foundation, one of my favorites. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, I got that on in my nose. Oh. And I'm gonna be using a sponge to blend that into the skin. I hate foundation on my lips. Ugh. All right, next is concealer. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer in Light Ivory. I have used this a number of times and I quite like it. It is a very good concealer, and I've used it with and without color correcting. I just wanted to test out some new products today, which is why I included it. But yeah, it's very creamy, it stays put, it doesn't settle very easily into fine lines and stuff. The only thing I don't like about this concealer is so little comes off on the little applicator versus some of the other ones that I have. For this, I feel like I have to layer like a ton on and like pull out more product, put it on, pull out more product, put it on. Now I'm gonna go in and I'm going to set them under my eyes before it starts creasing on me, and I'm gonna be using the Elf Sheer is what it's called. I know this is for the under eyes area, but like it doesn't have a name on it anywhere. Woo! Dropping things all over the place, what else is new? But this is a very fine powder that works really nicely under the eyes. I like to use this little tiny sponge and apply the product straight on from there. All right, next up we're going in with a cream blush, and I don't normally use cream blushes, but I feel like if I want to do a dewy makeup look, I want to kind of keep it as creamy as possible and minimize the number of powders I'm using on my face. Or at least that's my plan in theory. But I do really want to use this cream blush. This is by Revlon. It is the color Pinch, which is a pretty creamy coral color. I'm just dabbing a bunch on my cheekbones, and then I'm gonna go in with my little blending sponge. I think this is by L'Oreal. And then I'm going to dab it into the skin to blend it. Next, I'm gonna go in with a liquid highlight, and I'm going to be using the Pixi by Petra Glow Booster today. I've never used this one before, so I thought it'd be interesting to test it out since we're going with the whole dewy theme. Sort of a neutral, almost pink tone. And it doesn't look like it has any shimmer in it, so I'm curious to see how strong this is actually going to be. I see a little bit of a pink iridescence in it, but definitely not a lot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on my face, and then I'm going to set it with a powder highlight on top and just kind of make it pop. But this is definitely not a liquid highlight. Should have read it before I used it. You can like barely see any sort of a highlight on there, but it's fine, we'll roll with it. So before I go in and set the illuminator on my face, I'm just going to add a little bit of pressed powder just to where I tend to get oily. So basically just the T-zone and just the lightest amount. I'm gonna be using a brush for it. And this is the Wet n Wild Pressed Powder Photo Focus in the shade Warm Beige, which now upon opening it seems a bit dark. Woo! Oh, that could have ended terribly. Well, hopefully this won't be bronzer on my face. It still looks like I have like green on the side of my nose. What is going on with this essence stuff? So far the powder seems okay. I haven't really noticed anything like wow about it, but I haven't been using a lot on my face. We'll see if it holds up throughout the day and increases the longevity of the overall makeup look. All right, so now seeing the look as it is right now, I think I wanna go in with a little bit of bronzer before I add the powder highlight. And I'm just gonna add a little bit to sort of my neck and just along the temples just to warm up the look a bit. I'm gonna be going in with the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer because I don't have any cream bronzers that are from the drugstore. Now normally I would powder my entire face before I added any bronzer just to make sure that the bronzer doesn't clump up and stick to any of my foundation. But my foundation has dried down and it has been dry for a while now. So if you have issues with that, I don't, and especially with this butter bronzer, I haven't had any issues, but if you do, make sure you powder everything first and then go in with the bronzer. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with the powder highlight, and this is by e.l.f. This is their, I forget what this is, Moonlight Pearls. And I talked about this. The only way that I can get this stuff to work is if you peel off the entire top layer of these baked highlights and then use them, and they're beautiful, but like that first layer, not so much. Yep. Liking the glow. So now I'm gonna go and I'm going to do the eye look. There is a palette that I have not used before, so I'm gonna test that out for you guys. And Luke is going down for a nap right over there. So I'm gonna be quiet when I do this, and I will just voice over it with what I'm doing and all that stuff. So my son just woke up from an epically long nap. I finished my makeup, I had lunch, I did some editing. Like, I've never been so productive. So let's catch up on what we missed. So I started in with the L'Oreal Paris Color Riche Fixing and Unifying Eyeshadow Primer, and I primed my eyes. I've used this one before and I really like it. And then I went in with a new palette. This is by Wet n Wild. It's their Au Naturel palette, which has a lot of just very nice neutral tones. So I was swatching them and I found them to be a little bit on the powdery side, so I wasn't sure how I was gonna like them when I was wearing them. But I started with the lightest shade and I just put that all over my lid to kind of set the primer, and went in with the medium, sort of a taupey brown, and added that into the crease and just kept blending back and forth until it looked nice and smooth. And then I took the matte brown and I applied it sort of to the outer edge of the eye, creating sort of like a very minor wing shape kind of effect. I don't know, I was just looking for something very natural. I also applied the taupe shade to the bottom part of my lower lash line, line. And then I took the second lightest shade, sort of a shimmery pink tone, and I applied that to the lid. Then I took the highlight I was using earlier and I applied that to the inner corner of the eye, and then I added a tiny bit just underneath the brow where the light would naturally hit that area. I didn't want that to be super glowy and glittery, but I wanted to just add a little bit of a pop in that area. For eyeliner, I just added a little bit to the tight line, and I used the Marcel Velvet Waterproof Eyeliner. This is in the shade Dark Chocolate. I don't know about 24-hour hold, smudge proof, extreme color smooth glide. Yeah, I mean, like, it does transfer maybe a tiny bit if you're going like a full day wearing this, but I find it is pretty much stuck there, like wherever you end up putting it. And then for mascara, I went in with two different ones. I wanted to see how they layered because I like them both separately. I've never worn them together though. So I took first the Maybelline, the Colossal Big Shot Volume Express Mascara, and I applied that to the lashes, and I was just finding it just wasn't doing a lot for the length in my lashes. I wanted to kind of give them a little bit more oomph on the like edges, you know? So then I took the CoverGirl, the Supersizer Fibers Mascara, and I applied that just to the ends, and they worked pretty well together. I would say that it did make it a little bit clumpy, but it wasn't so difficult that I couldn't like brush through them. I like that they're nice and voluminous and long, and they just work with this sort of nice natural dewy look. Again, wanted to keep it pretty natural looking, so I took a new pencil. I've never used this one. This is the Marcel Velvet Gel Waterproof Lip Liner in Rosy Nude, but I really liked this particular shade. It kind of stuck out to me, so I was like, done wearing that one. And so far so good. It is a very natural rosy pink shade. It's very nice. It applies nicely. It doesn't tug at the lips. It is blendable, and yeah, it looked really good. I would say applying this all over just as it is, it's going to emphasize any dryness that you have in your lips, but I think that's going to be the case for any lip pencil that you apply. But it is a very smooth and pigmented pencil. I like it. And then I went in with the Rimmel, the only one matte lipstick in this shade Salute, or Salut. No, Salute. It's Salute. I've talked about this in a 5 first impression before. I love the color. I've used this a lot since then, and I will say the one thing about it is the smell can be a little bit nauseating. It's a very sweet, like I can smell it right now. I need to close this. It is a very sweet scent. Unlike, like, it smells like something from my childhood. I don't know what it is though, but it smells really obnoxiously sweet, and it's nice like the first couple of times you use it, and then over time you're like, this needs to stop. That's my only downside to this product. I love it other than that, and I will continue to use it because I really like the formula. It is really light. You get good pigmentation, but you can build it if you want. So I was applying it really lightly, mostly concentrating on the center of the lip area. Not completely transfer proof, but they do stay on quite well throughout the day, so that's nice. And then the last lip product I applied, because apparently 2 was not enough, is a lip balm. This is a new one from Wet n Wild. This is their Pout and Kiss. It's a gel. They call it their first gel lip gloss, lip balm thing. I don't know, whatever. It's a lip balm. And I just dabbed it just to the center of the lips a little bit, and just create more of a creamy kind of a look, not too glittery, not glossy, but not super matte either. And then the last step, which I haven't done yet, is I'm just going to set everything with a setting spray. I'm using the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Pro Spray and Set Makeup Extender Setting Spray. And I'm just going to spray this all over my face. I have used this before. I do like it. I feel like it does extend the longevity of my makeup. And there we go, a nice natural dewy kind of a makeup look. Okay, so let's zoom out and we'll talk more about products. Okay, so let's talk about the first impression of the products that I tried. So we'll start with the Pixi Glow Booster. So obviously, as a highlight itself, doesn't really do much. It does have a nice pinky iridescence to it. If you're really wanting to add some oomph and some glow, I would recommend just going with a liquid highlighter and just using a little bit less and mixing that in with your primer or foundation. This was fine. I'm going to experiment with it a little bit in using it with those purposes because I didn't use it properly. But like overall, I'm like, meh, it's not like my favorite thing in the world. It wasn't the worst though. Now onto the Essence Concealer Palette. It was fine. I'm not super excited about it in any way, shape, or form. I felt the formula was a little bit tacky, like it just was very thick and just difficult to blend out, especially in the delicate area under the eyes. It's not my favorite one that I've ever used. I much prefer the L'Oreal one that they have. The formula is just a lot I don't know, it just blends out so much nicer, but still really pigmented and is still very easy to cover. I don't know what's in that stuff, but it's really good, and I don't know, I wasn't super enthralled with this. For the Wet n Wild powder, I don't know, I kind of went into it and was like, oh, this is a new powder I haven't used yet, not thinking that I probably wasn't gonna use a lot for this particular look that I wanted to create. So I don't feel comfortable kind of giving my full impression on this because I used so little of the product. So I mean, so far, I mean, it applied to my face and it didn't take off my makeup and it hasn't made my skin react in some negative way. So I mean, overall it's good so far, but I don't know. I'm going to use this again before I put up this video, so I'll put some more information in the info bar below on my like final like impressions of this in a situation where I'm going to use it a little bit more heavily, you know, full cake face, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, jury's out on that one. Then on to another Wet n Wild product. This is the Au Naturel palette. I think it applied well. I think it was a little bit dusty. These darker shades are beautiful. They apply beautifully. They blend beautifully. It's a nice palette, just a little bit on the dusty side. I can see myself using this more often though. And lastly is the Marcel lip liner. Now I did put a little bit of balm on top, so that's going to affect the longevity of this particular lip product, but I think in the application it was very smooth. I hate lip liners that tug at the lip or you have to like warm it up in your hand before you apply it. This is very creamy and smooth. It says it's supposed to be smudge proof and no feathering, extreme color, and 8-hour hold. I really like the color. I will be using this again and trying it with various things on top like glosses and other matte lipsticks, different colors, things like that. It's just a really nice base color that works really well with my lip color. Very nice, I like it. And that's everything for this video. Give it a thumbs up if you love 5 first impression-esque videos. If you want to see more of these kind of walkthrough tutorial type things, let me know. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. I hope you're all having an amazing, amazing week so far, and I'll see you guys all in my next video. Love you girls. Mwah.